Welcome to State Scoop TV. I'm Jake Williams. We're here with Darryl Ackley. He's the Chief Information Officer for the state of New Mexico. Darryl, how are you doing today?
Doing great, thanks. How are you, Jake?
I'm great.
Good.
Darryl, we are here at the Midyear Conference for the National Association of State Chief Information Officers, Day 2.
Home stretch.
Home stretch, thank you. At conferences like these, we talk about priorities, we talk about technology. What are your main priorities and focuses for the year ahead, and how have they changed over the last year?
Well, not too much change from when we last talked. We're in the midst of upgrading our ERP. That's a big deal, not just technology, but the business process for the entire state. So, huge initiative for us, but 18 months in the making, and it's coming ahead. The a big one for us is better tying our oversight, our CIO office, if you will, together with our enterprise service delivery and having better plans for the state going forward.
That's outstanding. And so tell me, with projects like the ones you're talking about with the ERP and whatnot, tell me about that enterprise visioning process. How do you plan on and execute some of these big projects?
Well, we've got a pretty formal structure in place, that goes all the way from a 3-year plan to, year-by-year planning, and a pretty tight oversight process that ties into that. But to step back from that, the question that I've really posed inside the agency is, what is the workforce that's coming into the state in 3 to 5 years? What are they going to expect? What are they going to expect as far as, communications, telephony, productivity? And we need to be positioning ourselves as an enterprise to be providing those services to them when they're coming in, not, just meeting the demands of today.
It's an interesting perspective. And in this space, we talk a lot about buzzwords, and we hear a lot of buzzwords as we go through. What's the biggest buzzword that you find yourself getting tired of, and how are you channeling the ideas that it represents into action in your state?
Well, I'd have to say IT. I'm just kidding. I think cloud's certainly up there, but I think it's diminishing. Surprisingly, I'd say cyber. And I say that as someone who's deeply interested in cyber and came from a background of that, but I think that it just absolutely critical, important. The dialogue needs to continue, but we've kind of just commoditized the discussion in a way that I think can be difficult at times. So I'll probably get fired for that one, but that's probably the one.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, I think it makes sense, right? Because cybersecurity should be a part of everything and not necessarily its own definite thing that has to be contended with. So
that, and I think that it's easy for someone to say, oh yeah, no, we're doing cyber too.
Right.
Yeah. We're deep. It's a long game.
It's definitely buzzwordy. I think that works.
Yeah.
How are you working to collaborate outside the boundaries of your agency? You talked about the ERP. You talked about some of the other projects you're working on.
Yeah.
How are you collaborating with other folks, and what have some of the challenges been that have come with that?
So ERP is a great example. Fundamental to that was organizational change management and then communications planning. So, just as integrated to the upgrade, as the technical and the business process part of that has been the change management and really the culture management. So what we've seen is building communities of interest in other agencies, for the folks who will be using the system, right? And that's been huge. The boundaries are the same as we always face, recalcitrant folks who've not invented here, those sorts of things. But really, through the OCM, the communications process, mitigated that a lot.
Yeah. And so again, we talk about what we talk about here in NASCIO, and one of those things is emerging technology. How is emerging technology changing the way that your state's solving problems and delivering services?
Wow. Yeah, so, of course, for us, FirstNet continues to be front and center as, FirstNet now has the corporate partner, and we, as an early builder, will have to transition from being an owner-operator, right, to turning that over and continuing to advise. So public safety, emerging technology, we look at, the fusion there really between traditional communications and IT and really big data type things. But other than that, just trying to stay ahead of things. I think, we've talked drones, we've talked, sensors and Internet of Things. I think blockchains and some of those emerging technologies are things we have to keep track of.
That's great. Well, I look forward to hearing more about FirstNet and about all the things you're working on going forward. Darryl,
great.
Thanks for being with us, man.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure.
For more about what Darryl Ackley is up to in the state of New Mexico, check out statescoop.com. Again, I'm Jake Williams, Manager of Strategic Initiatives for StateScoop, with Darryl Ackley, CIO for the state of New Mexico. Thanks for watching.